Good day, friends. In the April 14th issue of Our Daily Bread, I found this and I think that it's most appropriate. This was written by Kirsten Holmberg. A recent study has shown that encouraging words from a health care provider can help patients recuperate faster from their ailments. A simple experiment exposed volunteer study participants to a skin allergen to make them itch, and then compared the reaction between those who received assurance from their physician and those who didn't. Patients who received encouragement from their doctors had less discomfort and itching than their counterparts. The writer of Proverbs knew how important encouraging words are. Gracious words bring healing to the bones, the writer of Proverbs wrote in 1624. The positive effect of words isn't limited to our health. When we heed the wisdom of instruction, we're more likely to prosper in our efforts, verse 20. So too encouragement buoys us for the challenges we face now and may encounter in the future. We may not yet fully understand why or even how much wisdom and encouragement bring strength and healing to our daily lives. Yet the cheers and guidance of our parents, coaches, colleagues seem to help us endure difficulty and steer us toward success. Similarly, the Bible brings us encouragement when we face trials, equipping us to bear up under even the most unthinkable circumstances. Help us, God, to be strengthened by your wisdom and to, in turn, offer the healing and hope of gracious words to those whom you've placed in our lives. Who has spoken gracious words into your life? Why is it vital for you to share words of encouragement with others? Dear Father, thank you for your words of healing and hope. Proverbs 16:20 through 24. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Now, the amazing thing is that this was published some months ago. Before they have to lay these things out in advance and publish them and then distribute them by the beginning of March, because this is March, April, and May of 2020. Those words are extremely prophetic for the time in which we find ourselves. As I was spending a lot of time in the car yesterday, I was listening to a reporter of healthcare issues who follows healthcare issues scientifically. His observation was something very important to us, and that's that the two S's are important at this day and time, in this day and time. The first one is stress. He talked about how, imagine what it feels like if you're being chased by a wild animal. And then he said, don't think about that. Don't imagine being chased by a wild animal, because that gets all kinds of things stirring in our systems which are counterproductive. So he said during the time when we had fight or flight, that early in the human history, that the autoimmune system would turn off because the flight was necessary versus fight. But in this day and time, we need the autoimmune system built up. So try to remove as much stress as possible in this day and time. The other one is sleep. We have no control over that, but I sleep pretty well. And it's probably a good thing that I do, and maybe that's a part of the immuno strength that I think I have. At least I pray that I do. So in this day and time, sisters and brothers, it's important to think again about the first responders. It's important to think about what we might call the last responders. I was listening to one of the funeral directors in the area on the radio as he was interviewed on NPR, Thomas Lynch, who's also written quite extensively and appeared on NPR, or National Public Television. Thomas Lynch said that the first responders are there at the beginning of the crisis, and those of us involved in bereavement are the last responders. Maybe not as critical in the sense of the immediate emerging challenges, but certainly very important toward the end of one's life, especially with regard to those who are survivors who need, again, in the words of the Our Daily Bread, great encouragement, great comfort, and right now a lot of that is done remotely or at a distance. So we can't do anything more than virtual hugs, but I think that that's a beginning point. God's peace and blessings until we are together again.